Hello, my name is Joelle Barker. I am an associate with the Northland CAPS program for the 2024-25 school year, and today I'm going to tell you a little about my internship with the City of Excelsior Springs at the Hall of Waters. About the city. The early history. In 1880, healing springs were discovered by a local farmer named Travis Melian. He was searching for a cure for his daughter Opal, who had been sick with tuberculosis. He found this cure in the waters of the Siloam Spring. He had her bathe and drink of the waters for some time, and eventually she was fully cured. So word began to spread about this miraculous healing. People began to come and bring their friends, and eventually this created the city. So, what came next? The Hall of Waters came next, and in 1936, construction began on the building. They wanted to create a place where people could come and enjoy the healing properties of the springs, and they became one of the most well known in Missouri and the region. So, their popularity continued until the 1950s and 60s when spas sort of fell out of popularity with the general public. They then faced some flooding issues, which have left the building in disrepair to this day. The picture on your left shows the swimming pool inside the Hall of Waters at the peak of its popularity, and then on the right, you can see what it looks like today. It is drained and no longer open to the public. So, the building today. Fun fact, the Hall of Waters is home to the largest water bar in the world, and the Art Deco style and Mayan influence is evident throughout the entire building in the pillars and just surrounding architecture. It's really cool to look at. Today, the Hall of Waters is home to the city offices, the historical museum, court and council chambers, and the visitors center. Their mission statement is working in harmony to create a thriving, sustainable community for all generations. The future of Excelsior Springs. The city is made up of many boards and commissions, some of which include Friends of the Wells, Historic Preservation, Planning and Zoning, Parks and Rec. These are just a few. Friends of the Wells is really important because they're a group that's working to preserve the natural springs around the city. Excelsior Springs also offers a historic site, many historic sites, a community center, and other recreational facilities. Company organization. As I've previously mentioned, the city offices are housed in the Hall of Waters in downtown Excelsior Springs. They employ over 5,000 people altogether. Since 1921, the city has functioned under a city manager form of government where the manager is selected by the city council and the manager serves one-year terms. This is an organization chart for my section of the city. The entire city organization would be much larger than this, but this is just a simplified version. So the city council is made up of 5 members: the mayor pro temp, and 3 councilmen. They sit on a board to choose the city manager, who has to apply for a position within the city. Right now, this is Molly McGovern, and she is head over human resources and the human resources manager, which is Shannon Stroud, and which is also my supervisor. So Kelly also works with Shannon. She's her assistant, and I work with both of them quite a lot. So Shannon's main responsibilities include participating in staff meetings. She's always in a lot of meetings and finding out details about how to help others in different departments. She manages the filing system, reviews resumes, and oversees building maintenance. Kelly does almost all of these same jobs, but she focuses more on processing termed employee paperwork and new hires and entering things into the payroll system. My responsibilities include planning the aspects of the city's volunteer dinner, as well as helping my supervisor with copying, filing, and other small jobs that they also might have for me. The city's human resources policies are pretty straightforward, as about everything is laid out in their handbook, and I have gotten the opportunity to see firsthand how a lot of these policies function in real life scenarios because I am actually in the HR department. Hiring for the city is a multi-step process, and it begins when the open positions are posted on the city website and for full-time positions are posted on Indeed. The applicant then applies through HR, and their applications are processed. They're given to the departments who then do interviewing and send it back to Human Resources for processing and filing. The qualifications for employees, you have to be 18 years or older to work in most positions for the city, but if you work at the community center, you only have to be 15 for most positions. And orientation and training occurs when you are hired, but also will continue throughout as needed. The firing process. When employees want to resign, they are required to give their 2 weeks' notice to the department head in writing. When someone gets laid off, this usually only happens when the city deems a position unnecessary to the function as a whole, and they'll be notified 10 days in advance if their position is being terminated. Correction time is given in cases of poor performance, and they are first given a verbal warning, and then a written warning, and then a suspension or demotion, and finally a dismissal. And final authority is given to the city manager, and she rules over every decision being made. Grievances. If you have an issue with your supervisor or your supervisor has an issue with you, you're supposed to first bring it to the Human Resources Department, and then this can then be appealed to the city manager if necessary. If an employee has an issue with another employee, they are to resolve this at the supervisor level. And employee to client issues do not happen very often because the residents of the city are their clients and they have to work with the city. Like most businesses, they have a no tolerance sexual harassment policy, and any issues will be brought directly to the manager. Promotions. Promotions usually occur when a new position is created or when someone has retired. They work very hard to promote within the personnel of the city. And this would be a merit increase. And pay increases often occur when the employee asks for one or when the employee meets their anniversary date. Employee benefits. They offer many types of insurance. They offer life insurance, dental, vision, long-term disability. Sick leave can be accumulated. You get 8 hours per month, but you can save it all if you want. Fringe benefits aren't often offered within the city, but occasionally, if you go on a trip, they'll pay for some of the expenses. Or if you work for Public Works, they give you a company car. Retirement. They do not offer stock options, but they do use loggers retirement, which a lot of other businesses in Missouri also use. They also offer COBRA benefits to employees who qualify for them, which means that if the employee were to switch jobs, their insurance would carry over until they could be placed on the new company's insurance. Safety protocol. At the Hall of Waters, they really do not brief their employees on safety protocols, but if there is bad weather, employees can use vacation hours if they need to come in late some days. This is where I do my internship. This is the museum in the Hall of Waters. I work in the very back, and today I will be doing a demonstration on some of the details of planning this year's volunteer banquet. So that's my desk right there in the back. It's pretty nice. The first part of planning the party was getting a whole list of all the people that should be invited to it. So I was in charge with contacting the different departments and finding out their list of volunteers. They sent me emails of spreadsheets. I compiled everything into the Excel doc that you see here. These are just some people that I had to contact to find out their lists. Then I switched to finding a theme. So all of these are my scratch paper, finding a theme. We settled on a block party theme, and that was agreed upon by all the departments. and my supervisor really liked it, and so did the city manager. We also talked about catering, and I looked up Hy-Vee, Scrumptious. I compared different costs and everything. We settled on Nadler's. They are a barbecue out of Wellington, Missouri, and I think it will fit very well with the block party theme, and I'm super excited. They had a good cost. After I finalized everything with Nadler's on the phone, I switched gears and designed an invitation to be sent out to all the volunteers that are to be attending this dinner. And as you can see, it's pretty colorful and bright. Looks a lot like a block party. Next, I began emailing different groups of volunteers and inviting them to the dinner. As you can see on your left, all of my colored highlights are different groups that I've already invited. I have a lot more to go, but I'll finish that next week. And on your right, you can see that I emailed a short paragraph of just a thank you, and along with all the information on the PDF of my Canva invitation. After I emailed all the groups, I began making address labels so I could mail paper invitations to some volunteers of the city who don't check their email. These are just parts of the volunteer dinner that I've been planning, and I hope it goes really well. Hi, I am the Human Resources Intern for the City of Excelsior Springs, and this is my supervisor, Shannon Stroud. She is the Human Resources Manager and the City Clerk, and today I'm going to ask her a few questions relating to my internship with the city. So, question number 1. What is an essential professional skill needed at this internship?
It would be time and project management and an effective communicator.
What have you done to master this essential skill?
We've provided a job description of the project and provided guidance through communication for meeting timelines and pulling the project together at a deadline.
What advice can you give me as the intern to master this skill?
To be a clear communicator, so you can effectively communicate through our volunteers that are also residents of the city.
Okay. Is there any tips that you could, any other tips that you could give me?
Just stick to what you're doing, and it seems to be working.
Okay, thank you so much. My daily roles and responsibilities are pretty straightforward. Each day I come into the office and I greet Kelly and ask if she has anything for me. She sometimes does, but usually she doesn't. Then I check my email and start working on parts of my big project. My main project is planning all the details of the volunteer appreciation dinner. This has included contacting food vendors, comparing prices, researching decorations and entertainment, and sending out invitations. When I'm not working on parts of this project, I also do human resources filing. Some skills I have developed in this internship include the professional skills of communication and collaboration, which I have to use a lot, where I communicate between my supervisors and also with the volunteers of the city. I also use critical thinking and problem solving when working with Excel and filing and compiling data. That's also a technical skill I've used. And I also work on writing clear and concise emails and making a lot of phone calls. Some skills that I had before going into this internship included time and project management. I'm used to organizing my own schedule. I have used Canva and Google, and I communicate a lot through email. My supervisor-intern relationship has been very positive. I get along with Kelly and Shannon very well, and it was really great that I got to work with them in the fall on a project, because going into the spring semester was a lot easier. I've built value in a lot of unexpected ways this semester. I thought that I would learn more about the event planning side of things, which I have, but I also learned a lot about the structure of the city and understanding how it works, which has been really great as well. I had really no expectations coming into this internship. I have had to ask a lot of clarification questions, which I really don't enjoy, but other than that, I've had no issues. I would highly recommend this internship to associates who are interested in learning more about event planning. It has been a very beneficial experience for me. Thank you for watching.